Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I'm here to talk about homeschooling your child who has medical needs or life-threatening illness. I have seen a lot of parents in the group that I'm in on Facebook. It is for the parents of children with leukemia, um, asking about options for school. And I very rarely see people commenting about homeschool. There's a few people who do homeschool. But I have been wanting to talk about this for a while because I feel like my journey with homeschooling can help someone else. My daughter, who is 8 years old right now, she was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia in October of 2022. And she ended treatment in December of 2021, I think it was. No, 22, December 22. And unfortunately, she relapsed in August of 2024. And so right now, it is March of 2025, and we are in the middle of the frontline treatment for her relapsed leukemia. A little bit about me is that I started researching homeschool before her diagnosis. Actually, my oldest daughter was in public school and she was struggling to read, and her teachers were basically saying that she was unintelligent because she couldn't read. And that was something that prompted me to find out more about how I could personally educate my kids and give them a better experience than our experience in public school. So I had been researching long before my child was old enough to go to kindergarten. And so we had started, she was 4 when she was diagnosed, but we had started doing a preschool curriculum before she was diagnosed. So that said, I have tried a lot of different curriculums. I have found something that works for our family. We've now have 5 kids all together. They're 14. My daughter with leukemia is 8. I have a 6-year-old son, a 3-year-old son, and a 1-year-old baby. And so one of the things that I really wanted to bring up was that if you have a child who has medical needs, or if they have leukemia or some other type of cancer, and you're feeling pressured to put your child back into school because they might get left behind in their education, I would strongly recommend to learn more about homeschooling. I understand that not everyone can homeschool. This is not a mom shaming video. This is not anything other than me sharing my experience, and hopefully that can help someone else who's feeling stressed and panicked that their child is not able to participate in school at the level of their peers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is why I believe that homeschooling has improved our lives within the journey of a medical diagnosis. If you have a medical needs child, you know that you're constantly at the hospital. You're there all the time. You could go there randomly on a Tuesday, unprompted, and you would just have to bring the stuff that you have with you. Sometimes you're there for months. Sometimes you don't know when you're going to go home. Sometimes you can't bring your other kids in there. Sometimes you can't bring all your items. So that said, this is something that has helped us as a family bond. Having all of my kids at home might seem like it is overwhelming and stressful. It is, but it is less overwhelming and stressful than if I had to drop children off at school and pick children up and help them with homework and facilitate all the things that come with public school. When my kids are at home, I can direct the doing of things. I can say, this is what we're doing today. We're going to do this, this, and this. And you have an opportunity to do what you like. You can do your extracurricular activities or whatever. We use a curriculum. We use 2 different curriculums right now. But the main thing is that my kids are together. They do school together. They're not separated. They're with their parents all day. They're with each other all day. And they bond that way. And they have a support system. They're not at school sad or alone. You know, I know they're not alone at school, but it's just that they're together. And through that has helped us rise up over what is happening to our family. And that has been such a blessing. And I'm not sure if I'm conveying this properly so that other people can understand what I'm saying, but it's better that our kids are here together and they're learning together and they're bonding and they're doing crafts and they're playing games and they're going outside together. And that has helped their mental health so much, especially my teenager. Another thing is that you get to experience all the memories that your child has. Perhaps you have a child with a terminal illness and you do not know how long you are going to have. Perhaps you have a child with a life-threatening illness and every day is questionable. Perhaps your child is just medically complex, but I would like to impress upon you the thing that is important to me is that all the memories that my child has are being made here at home. Not because I don't want them to make memories at school, but because, you know, the memories, we did this together. We did this together. We did this together. We did this together. And so on. I have a whole entire binder. This is just my child's kindergarten until 3rd grade binder. It is full of all the things that we've done together and that my kids have done with each other and things that they've learned about. And so that is really important to me, that all of my kids are able to make not only lasting comprehension of educational topics, but that they do it together among people that respect them and love them and care about them and uplift them. So yeah, that is the binders. We use that. Not everyone has these binders. I don't know what other people do with their stuff, but this is what I do for all my kids, and it works really well. And you get to have a keepsake at the end of the year or multiple years. The next thing I'm going to talk about is some resources. If you have never done anything pertaining to homeschool, I would first start off by going and searching for the homeschool laws in your state. Usually there is an age that your child is legally obligated to go to a school. In my state, the age is, I think it's 7. It's 7. So at 7 years old, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to put them in preschool here. At 7, they would be required to go to school. So that is what you need to find out. And you need to find out what are the things that you need to do. Do you need to keep a logbook? Do you need to count hours? Do you need to have a school established for your homeschool? Do you need to have annual testing and review? There's different things. For each state has a different thing. So I would start there. I would think about how your child learns, how you learn, and what are your days going to look like. You really should not be spending, with elementary school kids, you should really not be spending like 4 hours is a lot of time doing school for one individual child. If you have a bunch of kids and you're doing family style, then you might spend a lot of time doing that. But here are some resources. The first one is a website, KathyDuffyReviews.com. I will put it in the description. And Kathy reviews all the homeschool curriculum. Not all, but like a lot, almost all of it. And every type. She's probably the most unbiased and comprehensive reviews that you could possibly find. After that, I would look on YouTube to see who has been reviewing the various curriculums that you have decided on. Again, if you just want to do public school at home, you definitely can do that. There's different things. I know that there's like a K through 12, but that does not technically qualify as a homeschool. It's still public schooling. So homeschooling is removing your child from the school district. So you would sometimes have to write a letter if they're already enrolled. Just on the website. I will also link below. It's hslda.org, maybe. That is where they have all the information about the legal aspects of homeschooling. Okay, so here's some books. For the Children's Sake by Susan Schaefer McCulley. This is a Charlotte Mason philosophy type book. It talks about how children are persons. They are not machines or workers. They are persons. Education is a life. So education is lifelong. It's not just kindergarten through 12th grade. It talks a lot about that. So there's a lot of things Charlotte Mason-y in here, but it's not very long. So this is nice if you want to start out. The next one is Free to Learn by Peter Gray. Peter Gray is a developmental psychologist. And it's called Free to Learn: Why Unleashing the Instinct to Play Will Make Our Children Happier, More Self-Reliant, and Better Students for Life. This is great. I think this is a good one for husbands or dads to read. It's a lot more analytical. And it just has a lot more like data in it. The next one is, I don't have the actual book. I have this one, but the first one is Wild and Free by Ainsley Arment. This one's amazing. Also a play-based type philosophy. Ainsley Arment's whole thing is that your child should have wonder and magic in their daily life. They should not be miserable doing their tasks. And she gives some experiences and ideas of ways to implement that, or how you can get a grasp of that philosophy. The next one is The Whole and Healthy Family by Jody Mockabee. This one's really good. I have not finished this one, but I started it. This is very encouraging. It gives some guidance about how to raise your kids. It says to thrive, mind, body, and spirit. So that's a really good one. This is a real short one. You can watch this one on YouTube or listen to this one on YouTube, The Lost Tools of Learning by Dorothy Sayers. This one deals more with like the deficiencies that public schools have, and why the public school system has led to a lack of comprehension and understanding in our society of various concepts. And just, this is great. I think this is one of my favorites. This one is Introduction to Classical Education by Christopher Perrin. I love Christopher Perrin. So you might not like this. This is about classical education. These are different philosophies. The books, so these two are classical education. These are styles of homeschooling. Classical education, Wild and Free, and Free to Learn. Those are more like unschooling philosophies, but they would pertain to everyone when getting a grasp of homeschooling in general. And then this one is more Charlotte Mason. Mother culture. I feel like every mother should read this. It's biblically based, but I read it before I became a Christian, and I mean, it was one of the best books that I read. It's kind of like a just take what you need and leave the rest, but this is so important. I think every mom should read this. By Karen Andriola. She has other books. Charlotte Mason style type of philosophy, but it's not just that. And then this one is called A Mother's Influence. I think that dads and moms could read this just because it is so full of gems about the inherent value of mothers in educating and raising children. This is probably one of my favorite books as a mom. Favorite books as homeschooler. And again, I think that dads could read it too. My children have gotten mud on this, but it is just, if you just need encouragement, even in the journey of medical diagnosis, this I would highly recommend. Just as a mom, that sometimes you just need encouragement. And this is definitely one of the best mom encouragement books I've ever read, as well as understanding of childhood education. Okay, so those are the books. I'm not sure what else to say. I feel like everyone has asked me, people have messaged me to talk more about homeschooling a medically complex child, and I will say that my favorite parts of it are that we can do it anywhere. I have a lot of books on my iPad. There's audiobooks, there's videos, you can watch documentaries. There's so many choices, there's so many options. I mean, you don't need a homeschool, like I have this, but you don't need a homeschool room. You don't need a dedicated map area. You could do it anywhere. You could do it at the hospital, you know, with a very minimal, you could just get a small suitcase and fill it up with the things that you need. And you can have books on your iPad. You can have Audible. You can draw notebooking pages, or you could even, for example, I got this from Google. You could save this on your iPad, and your child could use their finger or the Apple Pencil to, there's little flies, to fill it out. I use GoodNotes. We use Procreate on the iPad. We use a virtual math curriculum. So those things you can do anywhere. The curriculum that I'm using now, my oldest daughter has almost all the books on Audible and her Kindle, and she can do those anywhere. She might need like 1 or 2 physical books and a notebook, and that's it. Another thing is that making education not painful is something that's very important to me. I don't want my child to go through all of her medical appointments and then have to go to school and be miserable at school because she feels bad, or because her cognitive ability is not up to par, or because she just had a spinal tap or chemotherapy or anything like that. That is not fair to me. I don't think that's fair to ask that of your child. I don't care how old they are, if they're a teenager, if they're 18 years old. You know, in some of these cancer treatments or other treatments, the kids feel pretty good most of the time, and they can play and they can do stuff. But I just can't imagine putting my child into a school and expecting them to sit there after that. And that is not a judgment to anyone who does or who can't homeschool or anything like that. That is just my personal opinion. I value connecting with my child, and through that I'm able to effectively homeschool, and other people can too. And then there are even free curriculums. There's things that you can use online totally free. You can go to your library, you can log into your library's website and reserve books and go pick them up, so you don't have to spend a bunch of time. You can order a box curriculum where everything is all ordered out for you, and all you have to do is do the task and check it off. You can order lab kits for science. You can order language arts kits where every single book is included. Those are usually more expensive, but you can talk to your social worker at your hospital, or even Child Life, or at our hospital we have a teacher on staff, and I have spoken to her before. I have not used it, but I have asked her if they offer financial resources for people who choose to homeschool. And even if you choose to do school through your hospital, just doing that with your child is what makes a difference. It's not about, for this topic that we're talking about right now, it's not about superior education. It is about connecting with your child and spending the time with your child, and through that facilitating the educational aspect of it to make it less painful, to make it less stressful. You don't need more stress, you know? Of course, homeschooling can be stressful. It is what you make of it. So if you go into it prioritizing efficiency and ease of use, then you will find something that's right for your family. If you go into it thinking, you know, I don't have time for this, I'm already stressed out enough, then that is a hard thing, and that is something that you can research or learn more about, and ultimately it's up to the person. It doesn't have to be right for you, and that's okay. But I'm just here to talk about my opinions and what works for my family, and I think that for us, that is something that we prioritize it. And then when my daughter feels good, then we do stuff all together as a family, and those are memories that we make, you know? And so hopefully this helps. I don't know, you know, if you have questions, please ask me in the comments. I would love to help anyone who needs help finding resources or anything, just options. I have just been asked several times in the childhood leukemia parents group on Facebook to elaborate on how we do school. So yeah, I hope that helps. Again, whatever your family chooses to do is right for you, and sometimes you have to make hard choices and just do what works best, and sometimes that looks like public school, and that's totally okay. For me, this is easiest and best for me, so that might not be for everyone, and that's okay. So I hope that this helps, and again, if anyone has questions or anything that they need help with, I would be happy to help. So thank you.